In the game of manipulation, if you have no idea how it's being played, then most likely you are the game. We tend to believe that manipulators are only powerful figures, but we can find them anywhere, even inside your own home. They're everywhere, and even worse, they're not always that easy to identify. You might live with one every day and not even know it.
What the hell are you talking about?
Recently, I decided to dive into the most commonly used tactics by manipulators. And the more I understood, the more I realized how most people are completely defenseless against them.
Hello. Do you work here?
Guilty.
In this video, I'm going to explore the 7 most common types of manipulators and their strategies. To show you this in a more practical way, I'll use scenes and iconic characters from movies to dissect how they think, how they choose their victims, and how they control without anyone noticing. Let's dive into the dark psychology of manipulation and understand the essence of this game, because those who don't see it become easy prey. Manipulators who use this strategy don't need to attack you directly. They manage to make you attack yourself. They make you feel wrong, guilty, and with no way out. They make their victims feel like the villains of the story. The iconic opening scene of Inglourious Bastards is a good example of this.
Is this Perrier Lapidite's property?
Hans Landa, a Nazi colonel, enters the house of a French farmer, suspected of hiding Jews. But he doesn't start off aggressively. On the contrary, he's friendly, polite, even charming. He tries to create empathy, seems understanding, asking about the farmer's life and trying to make him more comfortable. Gradually, he increases the pressure, getting into his victim's mind. He makes the farmer think that his work isn't wrong, that it's something worthy of respect and admiration.
Mr. Lapidite, do you know what nickname the French gave me?
I'm aware.
What did you hear?
They call you the Jew hunter.
Precisely.
He plants doubts, insinuates dangers, speaks in metaphors, making the farmer himself feel like he made a mistake.
If a rat came in here while I'm talking, would you treat it to this delicious milk?
Probably not.
And when he realizes that his victim is most vulnerable, he finally asks the question he's been wanting to.
Are you hiding state enemies?
Yes.
The farmer breaks down, not from physical torture or brute force, but from the psychological weight. Hans Landa uses his victim's weaknesses, creating mental tension, making him feel wrong and guilty, letting go without force. Guilt inverters are masters at making you feel like you've done something wrong, leading you to think you still have to make up for that mistake. In your daily life, it could be that boss who gives you an impossible task and when you fail makes it seem like it's your fault.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know they allowed slow people in here.
In relationships, it's when someone cheats and blames you for not giving enough attention.
Oh God, I can't believe this.
I'm leaving.
In the family, there's always that relative who never helps, but guilt trips you for not lending them money, making you feel bad for not giving in to their interests. And for that, they often like to isolate the victim, making them feel alone and therefore more vulnerable to their game.
I didn't kill anyone. I didn't do any of that.
There's not a line in this world that I wouldn't cross for you.
The key to this manipulation is to mess with your guilt and your need for acceptance, making you choose between being accepted or being right. Manipulators know most people prefer being wrong with others over being right and alone.
Amy, you can teach these people to hate me as much as you want. I don't care. I'm leaving.
I killed for you. Who else would do that?
You're crazy!
Seduction is a highly effective manipulation tool because, when done skillfully, it doesn't appear manipulative. Unlike villainizing the victim, seduction makes them feel good, wanted, and special, while guiding them where the manipulator intends. The main mistake is thinking seduction is only sexual. It's not. Seduction can involve empathy, emotional connection, intellectual admiration, or even creating dependency. What we can actually notice in general is that men and women tend to be seduced in different ways. And to be very direct and simplistic, Here we can use that famous saying, women care about what men say. That's why men lie. Men care about what they see. That's why women wear makeup. It's more complex, but this idea gives us a solid foundation to understand the scenes I'll explore. As an example of a seductive woman, there's no one better than Catherine Trammell from Basic Instinct.
Smoking is not allowed in this building, Miss Trammell.
What are you going to do? Accuse me of smoking?
She is being investigated for committing a crime, a murder specifically. And even as the accused, she manages to draw all the attention away from the investigation, using her charm, sensuality, and beauty to leave the detectives completely distracted and unaware of reality. The detectives feel intimidated in her presence. Her mystery, confidence, and beauty are the triggers, making the victims themselves feel attracted to and desire the manipulator to the point that they don't even realize they're being led by her.
He wasn't afraid to experiment. I like men like that. Men who give me pleasure. He gave me a lot of pleasure.
Men are often sillier and more superficial, making them easier to seduce. Many times, just a woman's beauty and sensuality are enough to make them vulnerable, letting sexual desire completely dominate them.
I like your way, Mrs. Berenguer. I really like your way.
Women are different. The game isn't predominantly physical, but they can just as easily fall for the manipulation of male seduction. There are two scenes I like to show what I'm talking about. The first one is in the movie James Bond Casino Royale, when James Bond approaches his enemy's wife.
Can I give you a ride?
That would drive my husband crazy. I don't think I'm that cruel.
You might just need more practice.
He doesn't compliment her directly. Instead, he acts confident and admirable, using humor to break her resistance.
Maybe.
He also keeps a challenging tone, making her feel like she needs to win him over, not the other way around. What he's doing here isn't just charm, it's a psychological game. He reads his target's vulnerability. She doesn't feel valued by her husband. She's completely submissive in the relationship. She secretly longs for adventure, excitement, and danger, and wants someone who truly sees and values Camoise her. And what Bond does is deliver exactly that. It.
How about a drink at my place?
Is it close?
Very.
A drink?
In the movie Limitless, the main character, Eddie Mora, is broke, has no money, and owes rent. To make matters worse, on his way back home, he runs into his neighbor and landlady who comes to collect the rent. He can't pay her, so what does he do? He reads his victim's weaknesses. He notices loneliness, insecurity, and a need to be admired.
What's the problem?
What?
He generates empathy and connection, showing that he understands her problems and positions himself as someone who can help her.
If I were writing an article, this isn't the book I would use.
Suddenly the tables turn and she starts to feel attracted to him. The result, he leaves without paying the rent. And still, yeah, it's a movie, I know, but what we have here is manipulative seduction in its purest form. Uncover the other's hidden desire, even if they're unaware, and use it to your advantage. All manipulation through seduction is based on this fundamental principle. The strongest desire is the one the victim is unaware of. A master of seduction not only discovers this secret desire, he awakens it, making the victim feel like they need it to fill that emptiness. And that's why victims often don't even realize they're being manipulated, because this desire is hidden even from the victim themselves, and the manipulator knows exactly how to bring it to the surface. Gaslighting is one of the most perverse forms of manipulation. It's the art of making the victim doubt themselves. It's the manipulator twisting facts, erasing your memory, and confusing you until you can't tell what's real. In the end, you completely lose confidence in yourself, and there's only one option left: to trust the manipulator. The term gaslighting comes from the 1944 movie Gaslight, about a husband who manipulates his wife until she doubts her sanity. He moves objects, turns off lights, hides things, and denies everything when she notices. He claims she's imagining things, being too sensitive, and forgetting a lot. Gradually, she loses trust in her memory and begins to believe she's going crazy. And when she sinks into her own confusion, he takes total control over her life.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
For this example, we can use Joker from The Dark Knight to illustrate. He drives people crazy by manipulating, creating chaos, and distorting reality. His biggest victim is Harvey Dent. Harvey starts out as a symbol of justice, but Joker breaks down his sanity piece by piece.
You were a strategist, you had plans, and look where that got you.
He causes the tragedy, the kidnapping and death of the woman he loved, and manipulates events so Harvey blames the system, police, and Batman. Anyone but him.
You thought we could be decent men in an indecent time.
You are wrong.
The world is cruel, and the only morality in a cruel world is chance.
And Harvey breaks. He loses his sense of truth and adopts Joker's reality. When that happens, Joker wins.
Joker chose me.
Because you were the best of us. He wanted to prove that even someone as good as you could fail.
And he was right.
Gaslighting doesn't just confuse the victim, it destroys them from the inside. The manipulator fosters fear and insecurity, causing the victim to doubt everything and only feel safe with the manipulator's validation. Here, it's very common to isolate the victim so that they don't have any other point of reference, making them totally dependent on the manipulator. Because when the victim can no longer trust themselves and has no one else to help, they only have one choice: to trust the person who is manipulating them.
Let me help you, Truman. You're not okay.
Verbal illusionists don't just lie. They build a narrative. They charm you. They make you believe they're helping you. By the time you notice, you've accepted the idea. If there's anyone who embodies the verbal illusionist in their purest form, it's Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street. He didn't just sell stocks to his clients, he sold a dream. He lied shamelessly, creating non-existent success stories, making up numbers and creating false urgencies.
The key to making money in a situation like this is to position yourself now, before the deal. Because by the time you read about it in the Wall Street Journal, it will already be too late.
He convinced clients that they were in control, when in fact, they were being led into a trap.
I've been telling you for years to never take no for an answer, right? To keep pushing. To never hang up the phone, not until you get what you want.
Jordan didn't care who was on the other end of the line. He didn't want the client to win, he wanted the client to buy.
What's the goal? To move the money from your client's pocket to yours.
Lying, deceiving, twisting reality was part of his job, and he did it with a smile.
You finally found a broker on Wall Street you can trust, who can generate consistent profits for you. Does that sound fair?
And here's where we get to an interesting point. We often assume all salespeople are manipulators, but is that actually true? The line between manipulation and persuasion is that persuasion uses honest arguments without hiding facts or using psychological pressure. Manipulation is using psychological tricks based on lies and empty promises to lead someone to make a decision they wouldn't have made naturally. Basically, if the benefit is mutual, it's persuasion. If the benefit is only for your side, it's manipulation. Let me take this moment to do my persuasion or manipulation here. I spent over a year developing something different, something that doesn't fit into these videos I share here. A series, a journey of 10 episodes and over 4 hours of content that will take you to a new way of perceiving and seeing life. And I'm not just saying that. Those who have already watched it can confirm this. Let me be direct. This isn't for everyone. And if you're unsure it's for you, I'll make it easier. I invite you to watch this 3-minute video right here on YouTube, where I explain everything to you. The chameleon doesn't force you to do anything. It doesn't seduce you directly or push you into something. He becomes everything you want, and by the time you notice, he already has all he needs. He adapts, absorbs, plays roles, and invents interests, becoming exactly what the victim wants to see. There are several cinematic characters like this, such as Tom Ripley from The Talented Mr. Ripley, a chameleon obsessed with status and acceptance who infiltrates the lives of the rich, adopting identities to fit in. He is an outsider who survives by deception and adaptation, all to feed his desire to be part of that world full of glamour and luxury.
I always thought it would be better to be a fake somebody than a real nobody.
We also have Oliver from Southburn, a social parasite who pretends to be fragile and innocent to gain the trust of a decaying aristocratic family.
Home means something different to me than it does to you, Felix.
Why don't you come home with me? Come to Saltburn.
He exploits the family's weaknesses, infiltrates and eliminates them all to inherit everything.
Accidents are for people like you. For the rest of us, this is work.
We could also mention Joe Goldberg from You, an obsessive stalker who becomes the ideal partner, manipulating his victim with romance and fake vulnerability, eliminating anything that gets in his way.
How many guys would do anything for the person they love? Honestly, Beck, you're lucky to have me. I'm brave.
Chameleons are manipulators who study their victims, understand their interests, their traumas, their needs, and infiltrate their lives.
Hey, I don't mean to sound like a stalker, but I think I know you.
They're so good at what they do that they don't even need to force their way in. They make the victim actually want them to be there.
Great.
That's really brilliant.
Along those same lines, but a little different, we also have Frank Abagnale Jr. from Catch Me If You Can, a master of disguise and deception who pretends to be a pilot, doctor, or lawyer without any qualifications. His talent is understanding exactly what people want to see and delivering that illusion perfectly, which allows him to infiltrate any environment.
Dear Father, I've decided to be a pilot.
I'm Barry Allen from the United States Secret Service.
I'm a doctor.
These characters mainly use mirroring as a tactic. They copy your way of speaking, your interests, your emotions, making you feel like you found your soulmate. They play the victim game. They don't ask for anything directly. They make you feel sorry enough to open the doors for them. They are experts at creating a perfect illusion. They make you believe you have a unique, almost magical connection with them. And usually they use gradual infiltration. They never come in all at once. They slowly gain your trust. These manipulators are often lone wolves without lasting ties, as they're always reinventing themselves. They avoid groups because in them, their lies can collide, and also because a victim surrounded by people becomes less vulnerable.
Join us.
I want your job, Tommy. You live in Italy, you stay at Dickie's house, you eat Dickie's food, you wear his clothes. If you ever get tired of it, let me know, because I'm in.
That's why it's common for them to feel threatened when you get close to others, and gradually, they'll try to undermine your relationships. The main targets of chameleons are usually people above them, whether in status, money, power, or influence. And to do that, they adapt to their victim's interests to gain their trust.
He thinks it's a bold idea.
It's a stupid idea. I think Raymond Tusk is an exciting and bold idea.
I'm glad you agree. That's a great sign to identify them. Observe the difference in behavior when dealing with superiors and with subordinates. In the presence of someone powerful, they are charming, but when no one they care about is watching, the mask falls off. If chameleons often seek advancement, the affectionate tyrant is already dominant and powerful, and their main tools are emotional blackmail and psychological imprisonment. He builds an image of benevolence and care. He doesn't demand anything, but makes you feel like you owe him something. He manipulates by making the victim fear losing his protection, convincing them the world is far worse without him.
We are a family. Everyone got a little cake, right? Did you? Good, great.
As clumsy and caricatured as the character Rumpelstiltskin from Shrek may be, he can be a good example of an affectionate tyrant.
Sometimes I wish I just had one day to feel like a real ogre again.
Well, why didn't you say so right away? Magical transactions are my specialty. Hold on.
They use their power to blackmail and manipulate victims for their own interests.
It's a magical contract. No one will notice that you disappeared, and until this day is over, you'll feel like a real ogre.
The victim becomes so enchanted and hypnotized that they don't even notice what's being plotted behind the scenes.
Sign it! Hurry up, Shrek, sign it! Shrek, sign it! Sign it! Sign it! He signed it.
And actually following this line of cartoons, In Toy Story 3, Lotso is also someone who really represents this figure well. He presents himself as a welcoming leader of the abandoned toys.
Hi, how are you all doing? I heard new voices. Welcome to Sunnyside, friends. You won't be looked down on or rejected, nor abandoned or forgotten.
He tells the toys they wouldn't survive outside daycare. The fear of losing Lotso's protection makes the toys obey without even questioning. And behind his sweet and affectionate demeanor, he hides a manipulative dictator who punishes, rejects, and humiliates those who challenge his authority.
Do you think you're special, cowboy? You're just a piece of plastic made to be thrown in the trash.
In the corporate world, a good example of this type of manipulator is Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada. She doesn't need to yell or threaten directly. Her power and influence do that for her.
The truth is, there's no one who can do what I do.
She is the renowned editor-in-chief of a major magazine. She not only dominates the fashion world, but also decides who rises and who falls in this game. Her respect and authority are revered, and being by her side, no matter how arrogant and annoying she is seen as a rare privilege, but that privilege comes at a price. She makes her employees feel that they are replaceable at any moment, keeping them in a constant state of tension and obedience. And despite her coldness and impossible demands, no one wants to disappoint her, because losing her favor means losing status, career, and any chance of relevance in this universe.
Don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this. Everyone wants to be us.
It's wrong to believe the affectionate tyrant acts only from fear. He also knows when to help. He may offer an unexpected gift, rare compliment, or valuable opportunity, but nothing is free. He puts you in an invisible game, a game of emotional debts. This is reciprocity being used against you. When someone helps you, you feel compelled to return the favor. That's how he traps his victims. You never signed a contract or made any agreement, but somehow you feel like you owe him something, and that debt is never paid off.
That's our secret. Kill him with kindness.
I don't do this for myself. I do this for all of us. That's the mantra of the false messiah, the manipulator, who hides his selfish agenda under the guise of a greater or altruistic cause.
I need 50 people to each donate $1,000.
Who here likes silver and gold? Those who don't like it are in the wrong church.
This is the power of God. This is the power of God. This is the power of God.
They play on people's need to believe in something greater. They understand that people want to be part of something important. They want to believe they're on the right side of history and look for leaders who bring clarity amid chaos. That's the trick. The false messiah wants more than money, obedience, or loyalty. He seeks your belief, fanaticism, and faith. And contrary to what you might think, this isn't limited to the religious world.
I'm here today to offer you something as valuable as gold. Do you know what it is? Anyone?
Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity.
Ray Kroc in The Founder is a classic example of this type of manipulator. He finds McDonald's as a small family restaurant and sees a huge opportunity there to scale the business and make money.
Franchise this business. It's too good to have just one location. There should be McDonald's everywhere from coast to coast.
But he faces a lot of resistance from the owners. The McDonald brothers aren't really sure if they want to let him into the business.
I don't know. This is your dream. Your arch is from coast to coast.
He can only convince them by creating a concept or idea. He says he wants to help bring that revolutionary concept to the world, turn it into the true restaurant of America, make Americans' lives more practical and efficient.
What's this guy's problem?
Do it for your country.
What?
If you don't want to do it for yourselves, that's fine. But do it for your country. Do it for America.
And the McDonald's brothers buy into the idea. They trust him because he presents himself as someone who shares their same values. He convinces them they'll create something bigger together. But in reality, he's laying the groundwork to turn McDonald's into the business he envisioned, regardless of the brothers' interests and values.
This isn't your company, Ray. Do you understand that? You're a professional leech.
He uses emotion to block any critical thinking. The McDonald brothers, attached to the dream of seeing their brand grow, don't realize his true intentions. And by the time they do, it's already too late.
I remember the first time I saw that name right in front of me.
It was love at first sight. I knew at that moment that I had to have it, and now I do. You don't. Are you sure about that?
False messiahs convince much more through emotion than through reason. They excel at crafting epic stories, justifying their actions as needed for a better future, pretending and claiming shared values, and even making the victims feel special for being part of the mission. They understand better than anyone that you can't change someone's mind with reason if that person never used reason to arrive at that idea. They know that feelings can't be overturned with logic, and that to change what someone feels, you have to confront them with another feeling. To change a belief that wasn't born from reason, you need something equally rational, and that's how they build their narratives. That's why false messiahs often emerge in political, religious, and spiritual circles where passion and fanaticism run high. And there are plenty of examples out there. How many times have we seen manipulators show up hiding behind religious beliefs? Not just saying, trust me, but saying, trust me because God chose me.
Not everyone can hear the voice of God.
Any doubt about them ceases to be a rational doubt and becomes a challenge to faith itself. The same thing happens in politics. How many leaders invoke God, nation, family, justice, and morality to justify their own interests?
Love for the family. Many politicians cling to that slogan, family values. But when you mess around with prostitutes and I find out, I'll make that hypocrisy hurt.
How many politicians appeal to people's pain and frustration, playing with their emotions and promising that only they can save the country? That's the final blow of the false messiah. He doesn't force his beliefs, fanaticism, or values on you. He mirrors them and never tries to convince you. He simply picks up on what you already believe with conviction and shapes his narrative to fit perfectly with those ideals. He makes supporting his cause feel natural, like an extension of your existing beliefs and feelings. His victims usually don't feel like they're being manipulated. They feel like they're just reaffirming what they've always known.
Take these 3 words home tonight. McDonald's is family!
In the game of manipulation, our feelings are our weaknesses, and manipulators know exactly how to exploit that. If you need social approval, they praise you until they control you. If you feel guilty, they easily make you carry that burden even if it's not your fault. If you fear conflict, they pressure you until you give in. If you have absolute certainties, they make those certainties work in their favor. In short, manipulation is not magic. It's just the systematic exploitation of human weaknesses. And what's worse, most people hand over their weaknesses on a silver platter because most don't think for themselves. They don't question or risk seeing for themselves. They're hostage to a system of beliefs and morality where they just go with the flow, treating others' opinions as unquestionable facts. Through this analysis, I realized the main difference between the manipulator, the victim, and those who resist isn't just intelligence, but their worldview and real-life experience. While most people cling to the idea that there is an absolute morality, a universal code, manipulators see this as a convenient illusion. Where others see rules, they see loopholes. Where others see limits, they see opportunities. Most people are easily manipulated because they want to believe the world is fair and orderly. A world where honest actions will always bring rewards, where justice always prevails, where everyone acts for the common good, thinking of others. It would be beautiful if it were like that, but it's not.
Things aren't sequential. Good doesn't lead to good, nor does evil lead to evil. Some people steal, don't get caught, and live a good life. Others lie, cheat, and get elected.
As Machiavelli once said, there's such a difference between how people live and how they ought to live that anyone who abandons what is done for what ought to be done will learn the path to their ruin rather than their preservation. In other words, if you believe people should be good, don't build your life depending on their goodness. If you believe the world should be fair, don't base your choices on that illusion. Don't confuse the world as it is with the world as you wish it to be. That confusion only puts a target on your back, making you naive in the face of reality.
I want to take the future. I want to win. And you don't get there by being a naive fool. There's no room for people like that in business. Business is war. It's dog eat dog, rat devouring rat.
If I see a competitor drowning, I'd walk over and shove a hose in his mouth.
Can you say the same?
Reality doesn't adjust to your beliefs or care about your sense of fairness or rightness. Many only see this when they're crushed by the facts. Until then, they live under the illusion that the world cares about their view of it. Some may say that's pessimistic. Do you believe people are naturally evil? And that's one of the oldest questions in our history. Are human beings inherently good or evil? Centuries of debate, thousands of theories, and no consensus. Maybe it's because human nature is neither good nor evil. And the more you try to fit it into an absolute morality, the more you cling to the illusion that the world follows a just code, the more vulnerable you become to those who don't play by those rules. Because in the end, those who see reality as it is control those who are still trapped by what it should be.